2 test. Good evening, fans, and welcome to tonight's game between the Eagan Wildcats and our guest tonight, the Eastview Lightning. We appreciate your attendance at tonight's game. We hope that you enjoy it. Eagan High School in the South Suburban Conference strongly promote the concept of good sportsmanship by players, coaches, and fans at all athletic events. Players and coaches are to compete in a fair manner, treating their opponents and officials with dignity and respect. Fans, you are encouraged to enthusiastically support your team and players while demonstrating respect for the efforts of the opponents and the game officials. Spectators failing to follow these guidelines will forfeit their right to attend this contest. As always, we thank you for your cooperation. Let's demonstrate good sportsmanship here this evening throughout this high school basketball season and throughout this school year. Independent School District 196 supports the growing national movement toward a tobacco-free environment. Use of tobacco in district buildings, on district grounds, or at district events is prohibited. Again, we thank you for your cooperation. The concession stand is open in the high school east lobby outside the main gymnasium doors, operated tonight by Eagan Wildcats softball. We have a variety of food, snacks, and beverages on sale. Stop by the concession stand operated tonight by Wildcats softball. Here at Eagan High School, the athletic training services are provided by Twin Cities Orthopedics. Our Eagan High School athletic trainer is Diana Bachman. Twin Cities Orthopedics is proud to be the official sports medicine provider for Eagan High School and the Eagan Wildcats boys basketball team. Coming up at halftime of tonight's game, we will have a halftime scrimmage. 2 teams from Eagan traveling basketball. In white will be Eagan 6th grade B3, and in blue will be Eagan 6th grade B4. The 6th B3 coaches are John Berge, Joe Dickerson, and Chris Anderson. The Eagan 6th B4 team coaches are Wade Grost, Sean Reese, and Todd White. And those 2 teams will scrimmage during tonight's halftime. They are the feature stars of Eagan Wildcats basketball. They'll scrimmage down to the 3-minute mark on the halftime clock. We will not have a halftime beanbag toss this evening. Halftime tonight, Eagan traveling basketball. 2 6th grade teams will scrimmage down to the 3-minute mark. ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise, remove your hats, and face the flag on the west wall of the gymnasium as we honor America. We invite you to join in the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glance that bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome to Eagan High School. Tonight we got the 7-1 Eastview Lightning taking on the 3-4 Eagan Wildcats. Eastview ranked second in the state. Their only loss to Eden Prairie. Eagan coming off a win in their last game over Benilde St. Margaret's. And Ben, looking at the records here, Eastview looks like they should run away with this game.
They should, looking at the teams who they've beaten their records, but this is sort of a rivalry game. These schools, Eagan and ECU, they're in the same district, and these players have played with each other all growing up. Travel basketball, they played with each other. They played with each other in the AAU season, and that can sort of make a difference. Players start to figure out their tendencies, what players like to do. Does this guy like to drive left to the basket, or does he like to go right? And it just adds this extra motivation to beat your friends that you're always playing in the gym with.
Yeah, and going back to the rivalry thing, whenever you got a rivalry game, you kind of throw records out of the way, because it's all about who can bring it for the night. And we'll see who can do that tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of aggressiveness under the basket, going for those rebounds. You're going to see players diving for a lot of loose balls. And I think it's going to be a very exciting, close, physical game from both these teams.
Mm-hmm. So looking at these teams on the court so far, again, it looks like Eastview with Tate, Mahachet, and Stephen Crow going to have a pretty big size advantage over the Eagan Wildcats.
Yeah, we normally will talk about the size disadvantage Eagan has as a relatively short team. But playing against Eastview, that's just magnified. Eastview's got Stephen Crowell, 6'11", Tate Mahacek, 6'6".
You can't forget about Ryan Thiessen as well.
Ryan Thiessen, 6'6". Noah Matson, 6'7". This is an incredibly tall Eastview Lightning
it's
team.
A very big team, and you look at them compared to Eagan, who outside of Logan Schmidt, 6'8". Their next biggest starter looks like it's going to be Jack, Emmanuel, and Kurt, all 6'2", but Tate's 6'6", and you got Ryan Thiessen at 6'6". I mean, they have a big size advantage.
Yeah, it's not going to make it impossible for Eagan to get rebounds. They're just going to have to give that extra effort to box out and clear the basket.
They're going to have to get dirty.
Yes, their first instinct whenever they see a rebound to go is not to go up and grab the rebound. It's maybe to go up, find a body, box out, and then get it.
And maybe even a little bit extra of a rivalry here is Jalen James played for Eagan High School until his junior year, left Eagan to go to Eastview, and now here he is. So Steven has it. He looks for Jalen down low and loses it. Kurt comes up with the ball and gets it to Cam, and so he'll settle it down, guarded by Jalen. Jalen asking for a call but didn't get it. Good pressure by Jalen. Gets it off to Logan Schmidt on the wing. Emmanuel comes around the swing. Kick out to House on the right wing. Drives, finds Kurt in the corner. Kurt's going to have some time for a three, and he airballs it. Crowell brings it down. And Scales back to Crowell. Crowell is going to be pushed from behind on the drive.
Yeah, this might be a theme for Eagan throughout the night. I expect Logan Schmidt and Matt Verbeck, some of the bigger guys for the Wildcats, to start to get into foul trouble rather quickly, because Stephen Crowell is quite the player for ECU.
Stephen Crowell will be attending the University of Wisconsin next year to play basketball for the Badgers. So he misses that three, and Stone comes down with it. Cam will set him in offense. Jalen James bringing some backcourt pressure. Able to get it off to O'Hughes. Back to House. House has an open three, and he hits it.
He gets it. You'll see House take a couple of threes from that spot. I think that's the spot that he tries to get to in the offense, and he drills threes from that spot.
Yep. Jalen, the Tate Mahachit gets it down to Crowell. Crowell goes straight up, and unlucky roll. Schmidt comes down with the rebound. Jalen making it difficult for House.
You saw the minute that pass went down low to Stephen Crowell in the post, 3 Wildcat players were all crashing around him.
I think we're gonna see that a lot as Crowell gets it in the paint. Schmidt on the wing, kick to O'Hughes in the corner, looking for help. He's gonna try to drive on Scales, kicks it to Stone. Stone baseline, guarded by Mahachit, finds House on the wing. House with the drive, kicks it to Stone, looking for Schmidt, couldn't find him. Schmidt are gonna set up the offense now. Finds Stone on the wing. Stone driving on Mahachit, gets inside, can't finish. Eastview wanted to travel, didn't matter. Thiessen up to James. James three is off, and Schmitter comes down with it. Now he's gonna try to push it in a little bit, nothing there. Stone's gonna drive on Mahachit.
Seems like the Wildcats could have some opportunities on fast breaks, but I don't think they want to speed up the game.
House with a pretty move and a pretty score, and Egan's up 5-0 early. This was the theme we saw back in December against the Sabres, and it's been the theme, I think, most of the season for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's just a question of whether or not the Wildcats can keep up the energy here.
Finish. That's their problem. That's been their problem so far this year. Thiessen dribble drive, pull up, misses. Schmitter grabs the rebound.
Great defense there by Logan Schmidt, staying in front of Stephen Crowell, but not letting him get positioned to seal him in the back post for a fade pass.
House setting up an offense, gets it over to O'Hughes on the left wing. Back to House on the right wing, guarded by James. Finds Stone on the corner, and Stone traveled. And it's going to be an out of bounds on the side. Mahachit will inbound it to Scales. Scales guarded by Schmitter. Looking for James, couldn't find him, so he gets it to Crowell. Thiessen on the drive on the left wing. Can't find anyone. Stone gets a steal and then almost turns it over. Gets it to Schmitter. Schmitter up to O'Hughes. O'Hughes can't finish. Contested by Crowell. Schmidt's on the glass.
That's a hustle play. It's tempting to watch your teammate finish the ball when he's got a fast break like that, but credit to Schmidt on that one. He followed it through and was able to get the second chance points.
Crowell down low to Mahachit. Mahachit going to work, and he's going to get it to fall for the first points of the night for the Wildcats. And you just look at Stone trying to guard. Did I say the Lightning, or did I say the Wildcats?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And you look at O'Hughes with an early three, can't hit it. Crowell grabs the rebound, gets it to Scales.
O'Hughes Crowell for three. You'll see Crowell down low a lot, trying to get the ball in the paint, but he can also step out and hit the three if you're too lazy on defense.
Yeah, he's a good perimeter player. Schmitter, three, he can't hit. Stone able to grab a rebound, kick out to O'Hughes. His three is off, and Crowell is going to bring down the rebound.
O'Hughes might be 0 for 3 to start the game so far, but he's got to keep shooting. He's the Wildcats' top scorer, and he's very important for their offense that he gets going.
If he can't get going, not much is going to happen. on the floor there. I would have thought that would have been shooting. Oh, it is a two-shot. So Scales will be going to the line.
And it's Logan Schmidt's second.
2 already. Madigan looks like he's getting ready to check in. Scales hits the first. And Cole Nelson checking in as well. Stone and Schmidt coming out. No subs so far for the Lightning. Scales' second one is gonna find the back of the rim. 7-4.
Yeah, last year when these two teams played a very close game, what really helped Eastview was their free throw. They only missed about 3 free throws in the game, and when that came down to 1 point at the end with 10 seconds left, those free throws really make a difference.
Yep. Nelson doing that dribble drive we saw against Stillwater a lot. House trying to drive on James, and James going to get called for a push.
Yeah, it's really good to see Eagan get some penetration into the paint on their offense last time. The last game that we covered here against Shakopee, that's what they really struggled to do.
Jackson Purcell checking in for Jalen James. Oh, he's looking for someone to inbound it. Great defense for the Lightning, but he's able to get it to Cam out in the back. Guarded by Purcell. Handoff to Nelson, who lost it. Mahachet now all over.
Scales is in the corner over there trying to deny Olhuse the ball. He's not worried about anything else that's happening on the court. It's just don't let Olhuse get the ball in the wing.
House tried to find Madigan, couldn't find it. Thiessen's going to grab it. And here comes Purcell down the floor for the Lightning. Finds Thiessen. Thiessen down low to Crowell, guarded by Madigan, and there it is again. We're going to see a lot of that. A lot of down low for Crowell as Madigan checks in at 6'3" against a 6'11" Crowell. As Cam finds the basket, and that's going to end the scoring drought for the Wildcats, 9-6. Again, there it is, down to Crowell. Good find at Mahachet. 9-8 Wildcats. About 12 minutes left here in the first half. Setting up an offense here for the Wildcats. A lot of cutting and screams. Scales almost got the steal. And Olhuse trying to find Nelson. Thiessen was there. Finn O'Malley and Sam Davis checking in for the Wildcats for Emmanuel and Cam.
O'Malley suffered an injury early in the season during practice, but it looks like he's slowly making his way back into the rotation. And that's good for Eagan.
Kenji Scales checking in for the Lightning for his older brother, Caden Scales. Nelson swings it around to Malley, finding Olhuse. Olhuse trying to drive on Scales, kicks it out to Madigan. Nelson, 3, hits it. 12-8 Wildcats. Purcell brings it down. He's guarded by O'Malley. O'Malley really still yet to play a lot of time this year, dealing with ankle injuries. Mahachet has it in the high post, looking for Crowell, can't find him. Purcell open 3. He hits it, and they exchange threes, and it's back to a 1-point lead.
That was a beautiful step back there by Scales.
Purcell.
Sorry, not Scales, Purcell.
O'Malley working on Scales. O'Malley continues to drive, looking for a foul, can't get it. Madigan comes away with it, and it's going to be tipped off Thiessen. He'll stay with the Wildcats.
Yeah, on that drive, O'Malley thought he was going to be able to make a little step toward the middle to try to get in front of the defender and seal his way to the basket.
Olhuse looking for someone, able to get it to Finn O'Malley. Gets it to Madigan. Madigan to Davis. Davis working on Thiessen. Finds Olhuse. Olhuse on the drive on Purcell. Can't get it to fall. Crowell comes away with the rebound. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Rebounds for Crowell. Thiessen with the pull-up hits it, and the Lightning have their first lead of the night. 13-12. 10:30 left. Nelson, good pump fake, gets Mahachet, floater, finds the bucket, and Nelson,
that's what you got to do
points.
if you want to be Crowell down low. Put a floater up that goes over the backboard.
Rainbow. Nelson, 5 points off the bench for the Wildcats. Thiessen has it, top of the wing. Hits Mahachet. They go down to Crowell. Crowell tries to fight through a double team, and he's able to do it. Crowell wanted a foul as well, did not get it.
I thought Madigan did a good job there going straight up with his arms.
Olhuse brings it up. Finds Sam Davis. Davis almost traveled, able to get it back to Olhuse, who cannot find it, but a little miscommunication there for the Lightning. It's going to stay. Wildcats making 3 substitutions, as well as the Lightning making 1. Lightning Zach Span checking in for Tate Mahachet. Wildcats have Verbeck and Schmidt coming in. Nice little play off the inbound, but O'Malley can't get it. Now he's got an open 3, decides to not take it, swings it off to Davis, who hits the 3.
It might seem better in the end that the Wildcats got 3 points instead of 2 points in that possession. But if you want to be Eastview, such a consistently good team, you have to convert to those first opportunities. And we've seen the Wildcats miss a couple of layups already tonight.
Yep. Carl has it, top of the wing. Gets it to Scales. Scales finds Thiessen. Thiessen, quick 3. He's going to hit it. And back to a 1-point lead for the Lightning. Scales pressuring O'Malley in the backcourt. Scales just a sophomore. You think he's probably going to be the future of this team. And Scales going to get the block there as well, as the older Scale and Mahachet check in for Crowell and Thiessen. Inbound goes to Schmidt, looking for O'Malley, can't get it to him. Needs to move it, gets it to O'Malley. O'Malley finds some room and hits the jumper.
Yeah, it looks like Eastview did a pretty good job denying the ball there when Schmidt had it out there on the three-point line. And for Eagan, that's not really where you want your big man to have the ball.
Scales has it on the right wing, gets it down low to Mahachet. Mahachet working on Schmidt, gets it out to Purcell. And they're gonna call a body on Davis. Still moving, it looked like.
Yeah, the Eagan bench was rather excited for a charge. Those charging fouls can really change the momentum in a game pretty quickly.
It really does. You get the crowd gets going as well as your bench. For some reason, it really just feels like it can be a momentum booster. Down low Span, kicks out to Scales. Scales driving, kicks to his brothers, and Scales cannot find the bottom of the net. Verbeck with the rebound, gets it to O'Malley. O'Malley bringing it down, guarded by Purcell. O'Malley, handoff to Verbeck. Handoff again to Davis. Davis a 3, cannot find it. Span with the rebound, he tries to push. And he misses that one. Verbeck pulls that down. Wildcats looking to get going in transition. Ball gets swung around to Schmitter. Schmitter looking for O'Malley. He has Verbeck top of the wing. He's going to get it there. Swing over to Davis. Davis pass to Schmitter. Finds O'Malley. His 3 is going to miss. And Schmidt's going to get a over the back foul or a push. And that's going to be his 3rd.
Yeah, I've watching Schmidt on some of these rebounds before. You can see he's starting to push off a little bit, trying to get position, being a little bit aggressive. But he's got to be careful. He's now got 3 fouls, and he's the tallest player for the Wildcats. He started the game, and I'm sure Coach McKenzie wants to see him finish it to try to shut down Crowell, so that's important for him to stay in.
Yep. House has checked in for O'Malley, and James and Crowell checked in for the Lightning. Tate's 3 misses. Schmidt gets it to Schmitter. Schmitter brings it down for the Wildcats. He's guarded by Purcell. Pass over to House. House working on James. Davis fakes the three, switch there by the Lightning as it goes back to House, swung around to Verbeck.
One thing that Davis does, every time he catches the ball, give him credit, he always looks to shoot. He's always a threat. And he can hit it from anywhere on this side of the half-court line.
He's a great three-point shooter, and looking to shoot, he can, as Scales blocks House, but looking to shoot, he's always looking to shoot, which can also lead to pump fakes for the Lightning. House missed the shot, and Purcell has it for the Wildcats, gets it to Crowell, who swings it over to Mahachet, back to Purcell. Crowell has it in the low post, guarded by Davis. Finds James in the corner, his three, hits it. And the Lightning up by 2 now for the Lightning.
Biggest lead of the, no, not the biggest lead of the game for the Lightning.
It's been a close one so far. Again, rivalry. House brings it down, finds Schmidt, hand off to House. Comes back across the screen, finds Davis. Davis contested three, cannot hit. Crowell again, another rebound. Gets it up to James. James driving, finds Purcell, and there's going to be a charge called on Davis. James doesn't like that one. Davis and James exchanging some words.
Yeah, it seems like it's a really important part of EC's offense that they drive really hard into the paint, and I think that's what Eagan's going to try to do on offense, is say we're gonna collapse whenever you guys drive. We're gonna step in front of you and try to take that charge, and they're gonna be vulnerable then from some of those outside threes.
Quick check-in for the Lightning after that charge, as Thiessen is checked in for James, and Olhus is checked in for the Wildcats for Verbeck. 5:40 left in the first half. Lightning up by 2. Olhus looking for House. He's just going to get it out to him. Swing over to Davis. Davis pump fakes on Mahachet. Finds Schmitter. His three is going to be off. They're going to great hustle there by the Wildcats. It's going to unfortunately go out of bounds, but that's the hustle you like to see there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, on a lot of, especially on the defensive side, every single shot you've got at least three Wildcats always converging on the ball at once. I don't think Eagan really wants to rely too much on the transition game here. So you've been seeing them slow it down, and one way to do that is to make sure you have 5 guys always crashing the boards every single shot.
Yep. Purcell brings it down for the Lightning. Gets it to Thiessen. Screen movement as Crowell has it down low, and he's just going to go right at Madigan, and he's going to get fouled. It looked like Olhus. And it's going to be Sam Davis on the foul.
Yeah, I think
Coach Madigan, never mind.
Coach McKenzie was a little frustrated with Sam Davis right there. He wanted Davis to clap sooner on Madigan, but Davis is trying to say, Ryan Thiessen's standing right next to me. He's averaging 20 points a game. I can't just leave him open on the wing.
And we've already seen Ryan Thiessen score a couple tonight.
Yeah, with an offense that has this many weapons as ECU does, you're going to have to be vulnerable in one area.
Crowell only able to hit 1 free throw. 5 minutes left. Lightning up by 3. Cam, guarded by Scales, gets it over to Stone, who just checked in. Finds Olhus, whose 3 is off. Purcell rebounds it, and Olhus still yet to score tonight for the Wildcats.
Yeah, if he doesn't get going in the first half, I'm sure he'll flip the switch in the second half. Thiessen
over to Lightning. Or not Lightning, Mahachet. Mahachet able to finish on the drive. Now a 5-point lead for the Lightning. House over to Madigan, back to House. Swings over to Stone. Over to Olhus. Olhus finds House. His quick 3 is going to be off. Rebound goes to Scales. He'll get it to Purcell as they slow it down. Swing over to Mahachet, finds Thiessen in the corner, and they go right down to Crowell, and you could hear Coach McKenzie screaming all alone as Crowell was left all alone with Madigan on him.
Yeah, Madigan's a great basketball player, but I'm sorry, he's not going to win that one-on-one very much.
Against 6'11" Wisconsin commit. Scales going to deflect the pass. Schmidt checks in for Madigan. Schmidt, again, 3 fouls so far in this first half. Got to be careful he doesn't pick up number 4. Stone inbounds to Hughes as he sets up an offense. Swing over to Stone. Cuts and screens, finds its way over to Hughes. Hand off to House, trying to drive. Scales, good defense. Over to Stone. Stone looking to drive on Mahachet. Can't quite get all the way there. Kick out to Hughes, good defense by the Lightning. Guarded by Thiessen. Hughes over to Stone. Stone looking to drive again, finds House on the drive, back to Stone. Stone's gonna drive inside, clutch, misses, and Crowell pulls down the rebound. He's got a little fast break going, gets it to Mahachet. Mahachet going all the way, and they're gonna call a charge again, this time on Mahachet.
Yeah, 2 things on those play. The first was on the offensive end. Stone, credit to him, he's going up against 2 guys that are much, much bigger than him. They've got huge wingspans. No fear, just went up against the defense trying to draw a foul. And then on the defensive end, again, Eagan's hustling back. I think it's sort of the extra boost you get from playing in a rivalry like this.
House brings it down. He's got it by Scales. Scales gets a piece of it. Schmidt able to grab it. Find Stone. Stone working on the post. Kick out to Schmitter, and Schmitter will reset. Passes it over to Stone. Gets it to Schmidt. Schmidt looking for someone. Finds Hughes. Good defense by the Lightning so far in this possession. Handoff House. Kick out to Schmitter. Schmitter's 3. Finds it and adds another scoring drive. Or drought for the Wildcats as it leads down to 4. 2 minutes left in the first half. Crowell has it top of the post. Hand off to Thiessen, back to Crowell. Crowell's 3. Misses. Mahachet tried to come down with it, and there's gonna be a reach-in call on Scales. Cam, you could see him wincing when he went down for that. I think Coach McKenzie knows it, and they're gonna get him out of the game.
Yeah, ECU wanted to travel on that play because House fell down when he had the ball, but I also thought ECU, they had a hand on that. I think it could have gone, it really could have been a jump, a foul, or a travel. It could have gone either way, from what I saw.
O'Malley guarded by Scales. Scales done a good job putting pressure on the ball handlers, as you see there. Purcell driving. O'Malley's just going to try to foul him.
Yeah, that's one problem that the Wildcats are going to have. Whenever teams, they like to do a full court press. Egan's got a lot of trust in their ball handlers, and they're going to say, they're going to have confidence and say, you can beat this guy down the court in 10 seconds. And that's sometimes it goes wrong like that.
Yep. Purcell hits the first as Span's going to check in for Mahachet. Jackson Purcell didn't start, but we've seen him throughout almost this whole first half.
Yeah, he's been a really important part of the Lightning offense so far.
5 points, and he's playing good defense. And that's something that you don't really see in a stat book, but good defense always helpful, as you see him get in the way of another pass there. Schmitter finds Hughes. We're down to 1:35 in the first half. Hughes driving on Purcell. And again, good defense by Purcell. Questionable call.
Doesn't seem like ECU is too happy with it.
So Hughes will go to the line for 2. Eastview's head coach trying to argue with the ref, get a call as Hughes still scoreless in this first half.
When those coaches, they're talking to the ref, it's not going to change the call they made on the court. But in the future, the refs are going to be thinking about that more and more, and it's going to change what they're looking for when Egan's on the offensive side of the ball.
Purcell brings it down, gets it to Crowell, over to Span, gets it back to Purcell. Thiessen back to Purcell. Purcell's 3, misses that one. Rebound goes to Stone, gets it up to Schmitter, and Schmitter's going to pull it out with a minute left. Hughes open 3. There we go. Down to 2. Oh, he's starting to come to life here. Minute left. Scales, guarded by O'Malley, finds Thiessen. Thiessen finds Span. Good double team as they try to deny Crowell in the post.
Yeah, you see Schmidt working hard down there on the block.
Yep. And you see Stone's been flashing. There's the double, and Span kick out to Thiessen. Over to Purcell, back down to Span. Span driving, and his pass stolen. Olhus looking for Schmitter, finds him, and Schmitter's gonna get fouled by Scales.
Yeah, Scales got ball on that block, but his offhand there that wasn't blocking sort of got Schmitter on the Schmitter down low. I think it's a good call. You want to avoid those types of dangerous plays.
The younger Scales looks to check in. Schmitter hits the first free throw. Checking in for his brother, Kenji Scales for Caden Scales. Down to a 1-point lead, 25 seconds left. Schmitter hits the second, and Madigan's gonna check in for Schmidt. Schmidt had a good run there, no fouls, played good defense on Crowell.
I expect Eastview to hold the ball, not let Eagan get any more shots before the half.
Yep. Tied game, 16 seconds left. Span looking for Crowell down low. Madigan working hard, good defense. Thiessen got 9 seconds left. Screen. Thiessen, good play. And that's gonna go to the half, as that shot probably a little late, missed anyway.
Smart little move there at the end of the half right there by Crowell. He grabbed the ball when it came through the basket. So with 3 seconds on the clock, Eagan could not do anything.
Yep.
All right.
Snacks and beverages on sale. Coming up here at halftime, we'll have a scrimmage. 2 teams from Eagan traveling basketball. 6th grade, 6B3 will wear white jerseys. Eagan 6B4 will wear blue. They will scrimmage down to the 3-minute mark on the halftime clock. Let's welcome to the floor from Eagan traveling basketball. Eagan 6B3 in white and Eagan 6B4 in blue. In white, Eagan 6B3. Coaches, John Berge, Joe Akerson, and Chris Anderson. The players for 6B3 in white, 34, Ryan Akerson, 35, Oliver Anderson, 14, Adrian Askew, number 3, Mason Axelrod, number 30, Tobias Berge, number 51, Leo Erickson, number 54, Kyle Peterson, number 5, Brady Reeser, number 25, Andrew Sethny, and number 2, Andy Stern. For the team in blue, 6B4, their coaches Wade Gross, Sean Reese, and Tom White. The players, number 1 is Mason Reese, number 3, Ethan Wilski, number 5, Nolan Madsen, number 14, Landon Louch, number 20, Jake Bromley, number 21, Owen White, number 22, Liam Frank, number 32, James McGinley, number 33, Brian Roast, and number 55 is Max Nelson for 6B4. These are the For 6B4, it's Mason Reese, number 1. For 6B3, 51, Leo Erickson scoring. 2-2 in the scrimmage. The scrimmage down to the 3-minute mark. We've got about a minute and 15. About 30 seconds remaining, 30 seconds. Seconds. For 6B4, 32, James McGinley scoring. 4-2. That ends tonight's halftime scrimmage. How about a nice hand for Eagan 6B3 in the white jerseys and Eagan 6B4 in the blue. 6B4 winning the scrimmage 4-2. Great job by both teams. Good luck this basketball season. The future stars of Eagan Wildcats basketball. The Wildcats starting the second half. Cole Nelson, number 11, Emmanuel Schmidt, number 13, Kurt Olhughes, number 22, Cam House, number 25, and Logan Schmidt, number 55. Eastview Lightning will have their starting lineup back on the floor to start the second half. The forwards, Tate Mahachek, number 4, Stephen Crowell, number 23. At the guards, Jalen James, number 3, Ryan Thiessen, number 24, and Caden Scales, number 25. Starting lineup for the Lightning.
Welcome back to the second half of this matchup between the Eagan Wildcats and the Eastview Lightning. First half's over, 30-28, Lightning lead, and Ben, what's gone right for each one of these teams?
Well, it's been a very exciting half. I think a lot has gone right for the Wildcats so far. Their three-point shooting's been pretty on target, and not too much has gone right for Eastview. I think quite a few calls have gone the way of the Wildcats. You'll hear the Eastview bench. They're starting to get frustrated with the refs. But I think in the second half, what Eagan needs to do, is Eagan needs to keep slowing down the game.
There's no camera.
I think, and keep focus on the defensive end too, because a lot of times you'll see Eagan, they'll hit a three on one end, and then the defensive intensity will sort of slip when they get back, and they'll give up a three to Eastview, and Eastview will be able to answer right back. I think in order to really build up runs and start to build a lead, the Wildcats need to keep up the intensity on the defensive end, despite whatever's happening on the offensive end. And for Eastview on defense, I want to see them sort of cut off some of those passing lanes. Or jump in front of some of the handoffs that Eagan's doing in their offense. You saw that a little bit in the first half, and I don't think the refs are calling the fouls if they step in front of the players. So maybe they'll have some success that way.
And a special hello to Matt Verbeck's grandparents and Jack Stone's grandparents, watching from Florida, I believe. As Cole Nelson's first three is going to fall, and the Wildcats now up by a point. Scales, so starters for the Lightning: Scales, James, Mahachet, Crowell, and Thiessen. Same to start the game for the first half, as Mahachet finds the bottom of the net. House, Schmidt, Olhughes, and Nelson for the Wildcats. Nelson just hit a three, looking for another, not there. House, he'll try one, and he's gonna hit two early threes.
I said this in the first half. That area is the spot where House hits all of his threes. You really got to get a hand out on House, regardless of where he is on the court, but especially in that spot.
James finds Thiessen on the drive, can't finish. Crowell right back up and in for the and one.
That was great defense on the first shot by Schmidt, but when Crowell came down without a rebound, you started to see him crowd his hands over.
Yep.
And that's where the foul came from.
And again, sometimes there's just not much you can do just when it comes to positioning, right place at the right time type of situation there. Crowell's gonna hit the free throw. And the Lightning back up by a point. House handoff to Schmidt. Pass over to Olhughes. Olhughes driving, tries to get it up over Crowell. Good shot, contents.
So what you can see Eastview start to do on defense now is every time Eagan does one of those handoffs, they're going to switch. They're going to switch whoever they're guarding. And I think they're going to have some success with that.
Thiessen's going to find Crowell on the dunk.
The Wildcat possessions are going to last longer and longer. And yeah, Schmidt was sort of with 4 fouls left on an island there. Not much you can do.
Good pass by Thiessen. Nelson, he'll try a deep three, and it hits. Tie game. And Nelson and Mahachet exchanging a couple words. Scales gets it to Crowell in the high post. Hand off to Thiessen. He had the shot, didn't take it. There's a switch as Nelson's now guarding Crowell, and foul on Schmidt. That's going to be his 4th. You saw him, he's saying hands up, but he did push off on him.
Yeah, the minute that Mahachet got that ball, and Schmidt's been doing this a little bit earlier, when these low post players, they get the pass, they jump to it. And if you can give them a little shove before the ref sees it, you can back them from the basket at least a foot, sometimes a foot and a half. And Schmidt's been having success with that, especially against Crowell in the post. And that time, he just got caught.
Mahachet misses the first free throw. So the game's still tied up. Cole Nelson, 11 points coming off the bench in the first half, 6 here in the second half. Madigan and Schmitter get tied up, and it's going to stay with the Lightning. It's those kind of mistakes that the Lightning can't afford to make, especially playing against a good team like the Lightning.
Yeah, they've done a good job on the offensive end limiting turnovers, but where you've seen Eagan miss some opportunities is when they're having 2 players get tied up.
Mm-hmm. Scales on the inbound. Finds Thiessen in the corner. Thiessen over to Mahachet. Mahachet 3. He's gonna miss.
Crowell got away with the foul right there. That's over the back.
Crowell got away with the foul and but then just took it to him. Good defense by the Lightning. Caught a turnover, but James out of bounds, but they'll take that.
Schmitter's a ball handler for the Wildcats, and he's got to do a better job there getting forward to help out House. You don't want your bigs, Cole Nelson and Ryan Madigan, bringing the ball up the floor.
Yeah. Ball goes to Cole Nelson. Looks for Olhus, and now here come the Wildcats. Olhus sets up the offense, gets it to Schmitter, guarded by James. Verbeck getting ready to check back in for the Wildcats. Handoff to Olhus, handoff to House. He'll just pull a 3, and it misses. Crowell comes down with yet again another rebound, gets it to Scales.
Yeah, House mishandled the handoff there and had to rush his shot as a result.
Yeah. Good defense by Madigan, coming away with the steal up ahead to House, or Olhus, excuse me, and he's going to get the and 1 on Scales. Game tied up.
The Wildcats are going to have their first chance to have a lead in this game since
early in the first half. Verbeck checking in for Madigan. Madigan played a pretty good shift there. Came away with that steal that led to this and 1 opportunity.
Yeah, that was really a mistake by ECU. You have such a height advantage with Crowell. Why are you throwing a bounce pass down low into him? Throw it up top.
Speaking of Crowell, he'll throw a 3 up and miss it. Schmitter pulls down. He's got Cole Nelson looking for his 3rd 3 of the half, and he's got it. Wildcats up 3.
Cole Nelson's got 14 points so far this game. On the season, he's only averaging just over 4. I'm sure he's gonna play quite the big role for the Wildcats.
Verbeck guarding Crowell. Gets it over to Mahachet. Over to Scales. Scales looked for Crowell, couldn't find him. Gets it to Thiessen. Had the shot, didn't take it. And they get it to Scales, and he'll get fouled as 4 Wildcats came to him.
Yeah, Crowell's got to do a better job there. As soon as he caught the ball and turned, I think he was going for the dunk, so he dropped the ball down to his waist. Those Wildcats players, it's going to be hard for them to reach the ball.
Yep.
If it's up.
Just keep it up.
Yeah.
Misses the first one.
ECU's having some trouble with their free throws right now.
Purcell checks in for Scales. Scales has been getting in a little bit of foul trouble. Couple questionable ones, couple easy ones. He's going to hit the second. Eastview's head coach upset about something. Not sure what it was. Might have been the travel, the no-call travel on Cole Nelson on his 3. Olhus has it. He's going to drive past Purcell. Oh, Verbeck almost came away with a putback. Again, Eastview wants a bunch of travel calls. Purcell got a piece of it. Olhus driving, trying to get it past Crowell, couldn't, and it's going to be off of Crowell. As Span checks in for Mahachet. Olhus looking for someone to inbound it to. And it's going to be a timeout by the Wildcats as 5 seconds was nearing.
So right there, Coach McKenzie called a timeout, and the referee asked him, "You want a 30-second or a 1-minute timeout?" Coach McKenzie replied, "A quick one." I just thought that was funny thing to hear.
Sounds like O'Malley and Davis looking to check in for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Eagan's been off to a really hot start in the second half so far. Their shooting has been spot on. A lot of that is credit to Cole Nelson, who's only missed, he's 4 or 5, I believe, for 3 on the night. He's been pretty impressive. And he's going to get rewarded with that by playing 10.
Purcell, James, Span, Crowell, and Thiessen for the Wildcats as Davis hits the bucket. James has it right wing, gets it to Purcell, and there's going to be a on the floor call going against Verbeck on a hold.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a result of the Eastview coaches, him talking to the refs. He's been looking for that call all game.
Crowell, quick 3, misses it. Span can't come on with it, and Verbeck's gonna have a chance to get a dunk in and win with the layup.
You know, some of those, I think that's a good decision by Verbeck there.
He'll take it.
To not choose the dunk. There's a chance he would have missed that. Just lay it in for the easy 2 points.
Hey, bucket to bucket. And the answer with an and 1, and the foul is over the back on Verbeck. In the second half, the Lightning have really been relying on Crowell as he now spurted with 17, not 71, excuse me.
And the Wildcats have been much more aggressive in the second half. They already have 5 team fouls. Eastview never got into the bonus in the first half, and that's 7 team fouls.
And that might be something that we might need to look at if this game.
Later down the stretch.
Finn O'Malley loses the ball, and we're going to have a jump ball, which means I believe it's going to stay with the Wildcats. Nope, it goes to the Lightning. Scales checking in for James. Kenji, the younger one, checking in. One thing that I'm wondering is if Jackson Purcell and looks like Stephen Crowell might be a little hurt, and so Mahachet checks in for Stephen.
Purcell. Crowell might have had a problem with blood on his jersey.
Might not be anything injury-wise. A Span goes up and throws it down on the lob. Wow. Nelson tries to answer with a 3, misses it, and it's gonna be Eastview ball. And that might have just gotten this Eastview team and crowd electrified.
Yeah, Eagan's got a lead now, so they can sit back into 2-3 zone, but that weak side, you got to be really careful. That was an incredible play.
Great pass.
And now here's Eagan coming out in a 1-2-2. Seems it's about three-quarter court.
Get some Mahachet out to Thiessen. Thiessen looking to drive. He's going to try to find someone. Kick out to Mahachet. To Purcell. Finds Thiessen in the corner, and he can't get it to fall. Hit out. Thiessen almost pulled the 3.
Eagan's switching to man defense now.
Yep.
I think one backside alley-oop dunk is enough to switch your team's defense.
Davis gets beat on the backside, and Thiessen stares him down. Olhughes drives, and he's gonna knock it the end one. Did not want to fall. Mahachet. He's gonna get called for the body.
You see the ref talking to Thiessen over there about his little extracurriculars after the basket on the Eastview end. Trying to prevent that in a rivalry game like this. You can see the tempers of these players starting to heat up.
Stephen right back in for Span. Kurt misses the second one, so the game's all tied up. There's Purcell to Thiessen to Mahachet and lost it. Davis comes away with it. We'll get it to O'Malley.
A lucky save there by Davis. Davis wanted to catch that ball and get down the court.
Olhuse long three. He's going to hit it, and the Wildcats got a 3-point lead. Purcell's going to slow it down.
Miscommunication there on what defense to go with for the Wildcats. I thought they were having success in man.
Scales misses. Steven comes down with another rebound. He's going to call for Mahachet to get out of there, and he's going to try to go to work. And call is on Davis.
Yes.
It will be on Davis, who ended up on the floor and still got called for the foul.
I think he sort of got the arm of Crowell there.
Yeah.
On the way up to the shot.
They called him for a body. Steven will be heading to the line for 2. 11:03 left in the second half. Down by 3, and he'll hit the first.
Verbeek just came out for the Wildcats. That was a great 5 minutes he had. Got a couple of fouls. Got a couple of ECU players frustrated there. I'll take it.
Stone checks in for Olhuse. So Stone, Madigan check in. Scales will be guarding O'Malley. There's a screen, couple screens set, a little bit of traffic on the right side. Madigan trying to get it to Davis, stolen by Thiessen, and Krell is gonna have a dunk. A timeout for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Eagan might be down by 1 point there. That timeout's gonna reset the momentum, and Eagan's gonna have another opportunity to stay in their. They need to stay in their man defense, especially. I think that backside alley-oop. I'm still thinking about that play.
That's still, I think that scares the Wildcats. I don't think we'll see another zone out of them.
Wildcats are lucky one of their players wasn't under the hoop during that.
Could have been trouble.
Coming out of this huddle, I think Eastview is going to try to be.
I think they're going to try to be
aggressive
aggressive
on defense.
Yep.
Yes.
I think
They
we
only
might
have
see
2
them
fouls
come out.
so far this half.
Yep. With a 1 point lead, I think they're going to try to be aggressive, roughen up the Wildcats, maybe even put a little fatigue into the Wildcats by just being physical,
And
knowing that they have a 4 foul lead. And
yeah, I think Eagan's going to start to leave in some of those players who have had good games for them. They've been running a 10-man rotation all game to try to keep those legs fresh. But at some point, you want to get your best guys in the game to leave it all out on the court.
House has checked in for O'Malley. And Mahachet has checked back in. Well, he was already in. Emmanuel Schmitters driving, trying to find Madigan. Gets it back to Schmitter. Schmitter gets it to House on the bounce pass. Good defense by Scales. Stone hits Davis. Davis, a little stutter and go. Madigan gets poked by Thiessen. Stone will inbound. Just get it into Madigan. Gets it to House. A little screen to the corner by Davis, looking to get open. Good move, can't finish. Rebound goes to Crowell. Gets it to Scales, trying to get it to Thiessen. He's able to save it. No, I think we'll see the Lightning slow it down a little bit. Purcell calls for it. Steven wants the ball. He's got a Madigan on him, a lot smaller. It's nothing against Madigan. It's just when you're 6'11", you're always going to have a height advantage, as Schmitter's going to hit the 3.
Now the Wildcats need to keep up the intensity here on defense. We talked about this at halftime. You can't let ECU start to get back in the game when you have momentum.
Yep. And jump ball, so it's going to be Wildcat ball. Great defense there by Davis.
Seems
Nelson.
like Purcell was a little frustrated with that call, but any call the refs make against you high school
Nelson
players nowadays are going to contest. But that was
Yeah.
great defense by Davis, and it was a good call by the referees.
Nelson and Olhus have checked in for the Wildcats. Schmitter guarded by Thiessen. Schmitter with the crossover. He'll drive, poked by Thiessen. Thiessen's been playing great defense today. Really hasn't made, and he'll hit a 3 and miss it. Deflected by Crowell, and Purcell will finish it. And Thiessen hasn't put up the numbers that we're used to seeing from him this year, but he's been playing really good defense. Scales is going to pick up a foul. And there's, again, that aggression and physicality. As the older Scales will check in for Ryan Thiessen. Schmitter gets the inbound, and he'll bring it up for the Wildcats. Scales, great defense. Schmitter finds Olhus. Can't hit the 3. Crowell comes down with it.
That was a great job by Schmitter on that to use his pace to get around the defender, force the defense to collapse.
Yep.
And more than not, Olhus will hit that shot.
Olhus really been struggling on the shots so far. Still has 10 points, though.
He's had a couple of them going.
Yep. And there's going to be a call on Scales. And just like that, 2 quick fouls for the Eastview Lightning, losing that foul game now. Still only have 2 less fouls than the Wildcats, but probably got to dial down the aggression a little bit. Davis trying to go coast to coast. Steven blocks it. Madigan pulls it in. Olhus on the drive. He's looking for someone. Can't find anyone. Finds Davis. Good pump fake. Kick over to Nelson. And he can't find the ball or find the shot. Madigan couldn't pull down the rebound over Steven. And Crowell is already calling for it. Can't get it to him.
Crowell wants the ECU to reverse the ball.
Yep.
When Madigan's got him sealed, because then he has to work again on a different side.
And there's going to be a charge called on Crowell. And Steven is getting into it.
Crowell's a little bit frustrated here with the defense.
Here's the intensity here's an intensity in a rivalry game. You see it, Steven's getting frustrated. And timeout, maybe. And technical on Steven, maybe? Or is it gonna be a timeout? No, whatever the case, it's getting crazy in here.
Yeah, this is quite a packed gym for the Wildcats.
Yeah,
and I think all of the Eagan fans were on their feet during that last exchange.
Obviously, Eagan more known for their hockey, so they'll get more fans to show up for their hockey team than their basketball team. But when you get a rivalry game and you get Eagan, Eastview, and a lot of kids who went to the middle schools, transferred and switched over from Eagan and Eastview, and fans are going to show up to see other friends, to see people that they know who are playing. And it's a rivalry game. Same 5 out for the Wildcats. And it looks like Steven still trying to get into it a little bit with, nope, not. Fans trying to get into it though with Steven.
Yeah, those fans are, their noise is directed at Steven.
This is intense. Davis brings it down. Guarded by Scales, good move. Olhus gets it on the right wing, drives, finds Davis. Davis finds House. Again, they want travels called. Olhus looking for someone. Gets it to Nelson.
If House kept rotating on that last play, I think he might have had a back door.
He would have had a back door. And that's going to be a turnover for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats had a big chance there to get momentum, to get everyone into the game.
Ryan Thiessen checking in for the younger scales. And Logan Schmidt checking in for Ryan Madigan, who really had a great run there. Got in Steven's head, had some stops, and he's really had a fairly good game. Not necessarily scoring, but really didn't average that much.
Stuff that doesn't show up in the shot chart.
Stuff that's gonna spark a team. Steven working on Schmidt, and he's gonna get it to go, and the Lightning back up by 2. House, I think, was looking for Sam Davis on the little break, but couldn't get it to him in time. Thiessen, good defense.
Not hustling back there.
Yeah.
Not keeping their heads always away where the ball is.
House looking for the drive. Kicks it out to Davis. Davis is going to pull a 3 and miss it. Long rebound by Thiessen. Trying to stop the ball. They get it to Crowell, and he's going to go up and get an and 1. Boy, they got Steven going, and it looks like he's starting to respond.
He's locked into the game now.
Schmitter is going to check in for Davis. Foul, can't really tell who the foul was on there. I think it might have been on Davis. It wasn't.
It wasn't on Schmidt.
It wasn't on Schmidt because he's still in there. Crowell can't get the and 1 to convert, and it's still a 4-point lead. 6:30 left in the second half, and now the Eastview crowd getting into it. House driving. Finds Olhus, who wants a little ISO, it looks like. House is going to pull a 3, and he misses it. And Steven's going to grab the rebound. And he's going to get out to Thiessen. Thiessen on the drive. He's going to get the bucket to go on the smothering defense. And Eastview on a little 6-0 run.
Egan's got a 6-point lead
here. They got to stop this.
They don't want to waste their timeouts to stop their ECU run.
Nelson on the drive, guarded by Mahachet. Kurt's gonna try a 3, and he misses it. Olhus grabs the rebound, deflected by Crowell.
That's a tough shot there for Olhus, being a step back from the 3-point line in the corner. Not on balance
by the Lightning.
I think Egan can get a better shot than that in those possessions, but if that shot goes in, the momentum starts to shift. Runs have been playing a really big role in this game so far. You've seen
Egan got out to the early run to start the first half, and Eastview responded, and back and forth they go. So 5:33 left. Eastview up by 6.
Eastview's also on the bonus.
Eastview is also on the bonus, which means that if Egan fouls, then Eastview will head to the free throw line for at least 1 free throw. If they make it, they will get another.
I think right here, I want to see Egan. They need to get a good shot in this first possession they've got right here. I'm sure Coach McKenzie will drop an inbounds play, something to get an open shooter in.
Yeah.
And on the defensive side, I expect it to be much more activity, especially jumping out, getting a hand up into the passing lanes. And ECU shooters haven't really hurt Egan so far tonight. I know there's been a couple of threes, but ECU's really relied on those down low scores, and I mean, they can because they've got great players like Crowell.
You got a guy sitting at 6'11", you can usually do that. House has it. We're looking for Schmitter. Good defense by Thiessen. Again, we've seen great defense by Thiessen tonight. Really been able to play as Olhus tries to drive. He's got Crowell on him. Schmidt's got a matchup that he should like in the post. He's looking for it. Purcell's going to push him a little bit. Olhus wants the one-on-one with Crowell. Trying to find Schmidt. Schmidt backing down. Back out to Olhus. Olhus drives, finds House.
Crowell's able to play a step off of
just because of his length.
Yeah, because of his length to get a hand up for the
Still
shot.
be able
so
to contest a
Olhuse,
shot.
That's why Olhuse wasn't able to get around a big guy like that.
I think they're going to want to get it to Cam House. He's guarded by Mahachet as it switches. Olhuse is going to air ball. Schmidt can't get to it, and it's going to be Eastview's ball. I think this is when we're going to see Lightning really slow it down. You know, I heard the head coach say, patience, get a good one. They're going to slow it down, look for a bucket to really try to put away this game.
It's not going to be a contested shot that ECU takes here.
Yep. Crowell looking for it, and he's going to miss it. Scales on the putback, and it's now an 8-point Eastview lead at, almost the double dribble.
House avoided the double dribble right there. He kept that in his left hand.
Nelson to Schmidt. Schmidt's going to pull up on Crowell.
Purcell got away with the foul there.
Yep, on Olhuse.
Olhuse off. I don't know if Olhuse might have sold that a little bit, but.
Yep. Purcell. Again, I think you're going to see a lot more slower-paced Lightning offense now. Kill some clock, get a good shot. That's not a great shot, but it's Thiessen. Crowell able to grab the rebound. Out to Purcell, who hits the three. And Jackson Purcell off the bench, only has 10 points, and he's played virtually the whole game, but he's really just been the spark plug for this Lightning team, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's really been, through all of the runs that Egan's had, he's really been a calm, constant player.
Yep. Olhuse trying to work. Schmitter driving, and he's going to get a shot. And it's going to be a foul on Crowell. 2 shots for Schmitter.
So the ECU bench is arguing for a travel when Schmitter gets the ball out there. What they're trying to say is that he's taking an extra step with his pivot foot, because typically in basketball you can take 2 steps, but that's after the dribble. So they're arguing that he's taking a step before he's taking a dribble. It's a really close call. It's a really close call for the refs to make.
Ten-point lead for the Lightning, 3 minutes left. Eagan needs to start getting some stops and getting some buckets quick. Thiessen screened by Crowell, who's just going to get it up and get it in. And that's Stephen Crowell for you. 6'11".
Just
throw it up to him, and he'll get it and usually come away with 2 points. Crowell's going to pressure him, and Scales is going to have an easy layup to make it a 14-point Lightning lead. And we're going to have a timeout by the Wildcats.
That's just a result for Eagan. They've got their big man always catching the ball outside of the 3-point line, but that's not really where they're comfortable with. Schmidt's going to make more of a difference for your offense down low, and he's more likely to make a mistake when he's standing out on the 3-point line. You see a pass, a weak pass that's long. I think Eagan can do a better job, too, of coming to the ball, trying to get a handoff.
I think that's exactly what Eastview wanted to do there. Pressure Schmidt. They know he's one of their younger players, more inexperienced, and he's a big man.
Yeah.
And pressure him and maybe cause a turnover, and we saw it there.
Cross-court passes that go over the top of the 3-point line, they're typically not a good idea, but especially when it's a weaker cross-court pass being made by a big guy, it's going to lead to some bad results. And then with a 2.5 minute,
again, here we go. You see Verbeck is checked in for the Wildcats as well as Davis. Same 5 for the Lightning, and you saw the Lightning bring some pressure there. Again, we like to see it. We're seeing that, and they like to see that in the second half. House gets a long rebound and pull a 3.
There's that spot for House. That's his 3rd of the game from right there.
Yep. Schmitter, pressure in the backcourt.
Egan setting up a zone trap right now. They just switched to a man now.
They just switched to a man. They really got to start getting some stops, getting some buckets. And again, you're gonna see very patient offense. Mahach at 3. That's probably not what they like to see, but he's going to hit it anyway.
It's a good shot if it goes in.
Yep. Davis trying to answer. He's not going to be able to. Crowell grabs the rebound. Crowell's probably just going to slow it down. He had
Crowell looked toward the inside right there.
Yeah, he had Mahach wide open.
I think Olhuse might have been just off trying to bait him into a pass there.
Yep.
But
Crowell down low in the post, going to get triple teamed. He's going to get fouled. And they're going to call it on Olhuse, I believe. Yes, they will.
That was a close foul. Just the result of Crowell going into an area with the ball that's got 3 pairs of hands.
Yep.
And Eastview, as they did last year, is starting to hit their free throws at the end of the game.
Yep. Been a big part of their success. And again, more pressure by the Lightning. They're just going to try to cause a turnover to really put this game away. And like we kind of said, they're going to get aggressive in this mid to late second half, knowing that they weren't close to foul trouble as Schmitter misses the 3.
Eagan's not really playing that bad right now. They've missed 3 consecutive threes from the outside, but they haven't been bad shots. The player's been open, they've been set, and typically you'd expect them to make that. I think it's just frustrating for Wildcat fans.
Foul on Schmitter, so Thiessen will head to the line as he tried to weave his way through the paint. O'Malley checking back in. We have, again, really not seen a lot of him this year, fighting an ankle injury. Big expectations for him, and you know, when you have an injury, it might hurt you as Purcell comes down with a rebound, and that's really going to start to milk this game as Mahach pulls another 3 to put this one away.
Yeah, Schmitter's got to box out on that instead of just jumping for the rebound.
Yep.
It was an interesting shot selection by ECU on that one, but I guess with the big lead, you can take those. Yep.
O'Malley's going to throw it away. Thiessen's going to try to push the pace. This one you might start to see a little bit of chippiness as Eastview starting to turn it on, run up the score. You know, maybe a frustration foul. Olhuse is going to hit a 3. And now I think you're going to see Eastview really slow it down and just kind of milk it.
They'll hold out the clock at the end of this possession here.
Verbeck wants that ball. Don't know if he's going to get it. And Thiessen's just going to dribble out the clock. The Eastview Lightning get a 19-point win.
19 is a lot, but it really wasn't that close, especially with 5 minutes left. This was a 53-53 game.
Yep.
And what happened is Eastview started getting turnovers and converting on the offensive end, and Eagan just started to miss shots, really.
Yep.
Right.
Special thank you to our officials for tonight's game. Bruce Kick, James Holt Jr. and Jordan